位阶先祖法旨，允你入盟。
修士联盟，也配。
独仙者，形神俱灭。
The middle-aged man's name was Hai Ju. At the moment Wang Lin cut off his head, Wang Lin sealed his origin soul. With Wang Lin's ascendant stage cultivation, it was effortless to seal the origin soul of a late-stage soul transformation cultivator. Wang Lin took the head and left. He was like a spring breeze that disappeared in the blink of an eye. As for the Emperor's jade, he didn't take it back because it was useless to him. However, it was something the Demon Emperor gave as a sign of good faith. If he hadn't accepted it, he would have appeared a bit too domineering. As he rushed away, he didn't turn around to look at the 10 million demon soldiers at all. He stepped into the air and disappeared. Wang Lin refined Hai Yu's head and devoured the sword energy. As for Hai Yu's origin soul, Wang Lin used the soul search spell. After Wang Lin obtained the information he wanted, Hai Yu's origin soul almost collapsed. Wang Lin threw Hai Yu's origin soul into the soul flag to be used as a primary soul. Not only do the people of the Da Lu sword sect in the demon spirit land all have a ray of Ling Tianhu's sword energy, there is also someone called Greed secretly protecting them. Greed, this name is very special, so I shouldn't have heard of him. The appearance of this Greed from Hai Yu's memory is somewhat familiar, but I'm sure I have never seen this person before. Wang Lin pondered as he flew. Greed, according to Hai Yu's memory, this person's cultivation has already surpassed the ascendant stage and has reached the stage of illusory yin, only one step below Sichu Nan's corporeal yang stage. Wang Lin's eyebrows were locked. However, he suddenly stopped flying and remained motionless in the sky. Sichu Nan. Wang Lin took a deep breath and his right hand touched his bag of holding. A jade flew out of his bag and he grabbed it. After checking it with his divine sense, his expression became ugly. If he hadn't thought of Sichu Nan, he wouldn't have remembered that Sichu Nan gave him a jade. There were several images inside this jade. The people recorded in the jade were the people that forced Sichu Nan to abandon his body. Originally, when Sichu Nan gave Wang Lin the jade, he didn't expect Wang Lin to actually encounter them. He just wanted Wang Lin to remember these people and to not provoke them. Wang Lin also didn't think he would meet one of them. Also, it was extremely easy for cultivators to change their appearance. Finding someone with just a few pictures was no less difficult than finding a needle in a haystack. If this Greed is indeed Sichu Nan's enemy, then he must know about the heaven-defying bead. Wang Lin touched the spot between his eyebrows. This heaven-defying bead was Wang Lin's biggest secret. It has been over 700 years since he obtained it, and the properties of the heaven-defying bead were still extremely strange. Back then only some rain was able to complete the rain element. However, it became much more difficult later on. Now only the metal element wasn't complete. However, Wang Lin had a feeling that the difficulty for completing the last element had reached a terrifying degree. If he could completely separate the heaven-defying bead from his body, Wang Lin wouldn't have to worry. If he was really forced into a moment of life and death, he would calmly make a choice. However, right now the bead had already fused with his origin soul, so there was no way to separate it from him. The only method was to extract his origin soul and refine it like when he refined Ling Tianhu's sword energy. This was the only way to refine the heaven-defying bead from his origin soul. Wang Lin's eyebrows furrowed hard. Where did the heaven-defying bead come from? Why does the Cultivation Alliance care so much about this bead? This heaven-defying bead has been with me for hundreds of years. Aside from the fact that time slows down inside it, there is almost no other ability. Even if you were to hide inside, if you meet a powerful cultivator, you won't be able to run and will still be found. No matter how you look at it, this bead is just an ordinary item. Even though it can slow down time, it is only useful to low-level cultivators. For high-level cultivators, a large amount of celestial jades is much more attractive. Wang Lin let out a sigh. Then his eyes looked into the distance like sharp blades and he muttered to himself, there were originally 5 Da Lu sword sect disciples, with Chen Long as the leader. After Mo Yang's death, although they weren't sure, they became suspicious of me. With how the Da Lu sword sect normally acts, they should have sent someone to inquire about this, but they didn't act. According to this Hai Yu's memories, this Greed was in the fire demon country back then. He seems to have found some secret there. After those 10 years, Hai Ju was the only one left in the Sky Demon Country. The other 3 have gone to the Fire Demon Country to meet with Greed. That's right, that Zishu must have also gone to meet with them. However, on the way, he had killing intent towards me, so he was killed by me. What exactly did this greed find Wanglin eyes lit up? Unfortunately, thanks to greed, I lost the chance to continue gathering Ling Tianhu's sword energy. However, I can't rush this matter either. Wanglin sneered as he used greater teleportation to teleport away. This war before me is the best chance for me to collect slaughter energy, so I can't let it go. However, I only have the power of one person. This thing, yes, I should do it like this. Wanglin's eyes became cold and then he disappeared. Wanglin didn't participate in the battle in the Fire Demon country. He teleported for several days and arrived back at the Soul Refining tribe inside the Sky Demon country. After 10 years of development, the Soul Refining tribe had taken proper form. It had become one of the 4 biggest tribes in the wilderness. Wanglin's return caused the entire tribe to become very excited. Although many of the tribe members hadn't seen Wanglin, through word of mouth, Wanglin had become something akin to the ancient demon. They all worshipped him in their hearts. That valley was the holy land in their hearts. After Wanglin returned, he quickly called 13 and Oyanghua to pick up 10,000 tribe members. Wanglin sent a strand of slaughter energy to each of those tribe members. Every time these tribe members killed someone, the vitality of the person they killed would be absorbed into that strand of slaughter energy. The more these 10,000 people killed, the stronger the slaughter energy in their bodies would become. It could even turn into life seals to protect these 10,000 people in moments of crisis. Then these 10,000 people were sent into the battle in the Fire Demon country. Wanglin didn't let them join the Sky Demon country but had them operate on their own. Wanglin only had one order for them, and that was to continue to kill in order to nourish the slaughter energy inside them. 10,000 people weren't considered much in a battle where tens of millions of demon soldiers were involved. Wanglin understood this well, and that was why he also sent out Oyanghua and 13. He gifted them treasures and gave them 3 months to lead the rest of the tribe members to devour the remaining 3 tribes. He spent this time inside the valley and continued to engrave the imprint on the scattered devil inside his body. He used the remaining time to repair the restriction flag. 3 months quickly passed by. With the treasures Wanglin gave 13 and Oyanghua, they were able to devour the remaining 3 tribes one by one. A large amount of foreign tribe members were forced to drink the memory-wiping soup and become members of the Soul Refining tribe. For these new tribe members who had never practiced the Soul Refining spell, Wanglin took out the 1 billion soul flag, shook it, and a large amount of soul fragments flew out. Under Wanglin's control, the soul fragments flew into the tribe members' bodies. However, rather than harming them, the soul fragments coexisted with them. Then Wanglin spread out his slaughter energy and fused it into these people. Just like this, the second wave of 30,000 people was sent into the Fire Demon country. There were still a lot of people left in the Soul Refining tribe. Wanglin used the greater teleportation spell many times to move everyone out of the wilderness. The location he picked was the ancient battleground where the scattered devil used to live. Wanglin used a spell to form a tall tower where the devil tower used to be. Then he sat in the lotus position within. As for the tribe members, they began their new lives here. A large amount of simple houses were built. Soon, a new tribe was formed here. In the blink of an eye, another 10 years passed. Wanglin didn't take a single step outside the tower in these 10 years. After the 3 large armies of the Sky Demon country slaughtered their way into the Fire Demon country, the Fire Demon country naturally had their ways of dealing with it. They launched their counterattack and began an endless slaughter across many battlefields. The 10 years of war was merely the beginning. During these 10 years, waves of Soul Refining tribe members with Wanglin's slaughter energy joined the battle. At the same time, the Soul Refining tribe continued to grow. The savage tribes in the Fire Demon country were now their targets. Wanglin seemed to have forgotten the battle in the Fire Demon country. He spent 10 years cultivating inside the tower and engraving his imprint on the scattered devil. He was preparing to make himself even stronger before the 100-year time limit was up. This was the only way for him to complete the agreement between him and the ancient demon. The endless cultivation during these 10 years caused Wanglin's early-stage ascendant cultivation to become even more stable. He could feel that although some of the slaughter energy he sent out disappeared, even more was coming in each day. As for the tribe members with slaughter energy, the more they killed, the stronger their slaughter energy became. This ensured their safety and made them even stronger. To this day he had sent out a total of 100,000 strands of slaughter energy inside 100,000 tribe members. These 100,000 strands of slaughter energy continued to grow stronger each day. Using slaughter to nourish the slaughter energy. I would like to see how many strands of slaughter energy will be created once this war ends. Inside the tower, Wang Lin opened his eyes. His eyes glowed like lightning as a powerful force spread out from the tower. There was an empty area of 5 kilometers in radius around the tower. Beyond that was an endless amount of buildings. Looking from a distance, these buildings stretched out for hundreds of kilometers. This was the new soul refining tribe. Every month tribe members would return with captives of the tribe members of the fire demon country. Every month the soul refining tribe was growing bigger. Wang Lin withdrew his gaze. He slapped his bag of holding and the restriction ball sealing Yao Shishue flew out. He squeezed his right hand and the ball shattered. Then Yao Shishue's figure appeared inside the tower. Wang Lin's expression was indifferent as he slowly asked, "Have you made your decision?" Yao Shishue was no longer naked, she was now wearing a blue robe. After she appeared, her beautiful eyes stared at Wang Lin as she clenched her teeth and said, "What exactly are you thinking? In the past 10 years I have already told you everything. What exactly do you want?" During these past 10 years Wang Lin had questioned Yao Shishue many times inside the tower. Yao Shishue's hatred for Wang Lin had already been buried deep in her heart. At the same time, she was completely terrified of Wang Lin's methods. Wang Lin had managed to open a hole in her mind, and that hole was opened when she told Wang Lin how to use the blood soul pill. Once this opening appeared, Yao Shishue almost collapsed under Wang Lin's methods. Although she hadn't told him everything, she had more or less spilled some secrets. "You said that the cave was left by a celestial emperor and that there are a total of 4 caves. How did you find out about all of this?" Yao Shishue bit her lower lip. She was still not willing to answer this question. Wang Lin's eyes faintly lit up and he slowly said, "You have already been in my hands for more than 20 years. Could it be that you don't want your freedom if you tell me everything? I promise to release you after I leave the demon spirit land." His voice contained some devilish energy. This was a small spell he learned from the scattered devil after spending 10 years engraving his imprint on it. Yao Shishue softly sighed and whispered, "I can tell you everything, but you must swear on your Tao heart that you will let me go once you leave the demon spirit land. You don't have the qualifications to demand conditions from me. I'll naturally do what I promise. Speak, you have only one chance. If you don't speak, I'll seal you forever." Wang Lin's voice was calm, but it gave off a cold intent. Yao Shishue played with her hair as she looked at Wang Lin. After a long time, she whispered, "My father warned me to not fight against you. I was very puzzled and didn't know why my father would know you. Back then you were merely a little cultivator, even if you were the All-Seer's disciple. With my understanding of my father, your status, your cultivation, everything about you was not worthy of my father's attention. That is why I didn't listen to him. Now I somewhat understand why father talked about you." Wang Lin's expression was calm as he coldly looked at her. Yao Shishue let out a sigh and said, "It was my father who told me that there is a total of 4 caves here. Back then, when father, Ling Chenhu, the All-Seer, and company came to the demon spirit land, they found a secret." Wang Lin's eyes narrowed and he calmly asked, "What secret?" "This demon spirit land is, in fact, a cave. I believe you have also guessed this already. I can tell you that this demon spirit land is a cave and that this cave is very big. It is big beyond imagination, but there isn't just one. There are a total of 5 caves. 4 fakes and 1 real." Wang Lin's expression was still the same as he slowly said, "I presume the one you took me to was a fake cave." Yao Shishue bitterly nodded and said, "Yes, that was indeed a fake cave." Wang Lin asked, "What was your purpose for going there?" "Father once said that the fake cave contains a lot of treasures, spirit liquid, and other things. If I could obtain them, they would help my cultivation greatly." Yao Shishue's voice was soft, but before she could finish speaking, she saw the sneer on Wang Lin's face. Wang Lin calmly looked at Yao Shishue. He didn't speak, but his eyes made her heart tremble. After a long time, she bitterly said, "Everything I've said is true. You don't need to use it as an excuse to not free me in the future." Wang Lin's tone was grim as he said, "A good way of telling the truth. What you said perhaps is indeed what you believe in your heart, but that is not what I asked. What relation do the 4 fake caves have to the real one?" Yao Shishue pondered once more, then she let out a sigh and said, "Forget it. In truth, those 4 fake caves are in fact the gates to the real cave." Wang Lin's eyes narrowed. "The secret your father and them found can't be this simple. I only know that father guessed that there are opportunities to help one to step into the 3rd step inside that cave. Because that cave belonged to the number 1 celestial emperor, Qing Lin, before the celestial realm collapsed. Celestial Emperor Qing Lin was the strongest person in the celestial realm. Rumor has it that when the celestial realm collapsed, Celestial Emperor Qing Lin did indeed die. After he fought, he escaped with injuries. The secret my father and them found is that the aura of Celestial Emperor Qing Lin is in closed-door cultivation inside the final cave. I don't know how they found out, so there is no need to ask me about it. After she finished speaking, she looked at Wang Lin. When she first heard of this, her shock was almost unimaginable. Even recalling the matter now caused her heart to tremble endlessly. With Wang Lin's mental strength, she wanted to see what kind of expression he would have when he heard this explosive piece of news. Unfortunately, all she saw was the same unchanging expression. Wang Lin's expression did indeed change in the slightest, but his pupils shrank an unnoticeable amount. These words started a storm inside Wang Lin's heart. He believed 70% of what Yao Shishue said. It was not about how beautifully she said it all, but because she said the two words Qing Lin. Wang Lin could never forget what he saw when he first went into the cave with Yao Shishue. He had stacked the life seals together to hear the voice coming from the void. I am Qing Lin? What kind of cave is this? It has ancient demons and a scattered devil. The ancient demon was split into 9 parts by someone and thus can't fuse back together. I don't know much about the scattered devils, but from what it said, it was a devil under an ancient devil. Could this demon spirit land also have an ancient devil? The more information Wang Lin came upon, the more he felt like there was a layer of fog before him that he couldn't rip open. He quietly looked at Yao Shishue and said, how were the 4 fake caves distributed between them back then? The All-Seer and Ling Tianhu's each took a cave. The other cave was taken by the Cloud Celestial couple. Back then my father's cultivation level wasn't high enough to fight with the 4 of them for the fake caves. However, his luck was good, so he was able to find the existence of this cave. In fact, besides my father, everyone else still thinks this place has 3 fakes and 1 real cave. Cloud Celestial couple. This was the first time Wang Lin had heard this name. The Cloud Celestial couple was famous tens of thousands of years ago. They didn't leave this place like everyone else but decided to cultivate inside their fake cave. That is why apart from very few people, not many people know of them. I only heard of this cultivation couple from my father. When Yao Shishue said this, she revealed a trace of envy and melancholy. When she heard about this couple, it was when she was going through her spring. Even now there was still that sliver of a dream deep inside her heart. Thinking about it now, she couldn't help but feel melancholy. Wang Lin pondered a bit, then his eyes suddenly lit up as he stared at Yao Shishue and said, your father, the blood ancestor, should be coming soon. After he said that, Yao Shishue's heart trembled violently. However, her face revealed a surprised expression and she said, I have no idea what you mean. Her expression was extremely natural and didn't reveal any hints. During these tens of thousands of years, the demon spirit land has been opened countless times. I have no idea how many times you have come here, but with the blood ancestor's ability, it shouldn't be hard to extend your life. With that in mind, this just happens to be the time you must enter the cave, even with the risk of an outsider finding out about it. If there wasn't some secret behind it, I'm afraid you wouldn't be this anxious. I'm afraid that in these tens of thousands of years, your father, the blood ancestor, still couldn't come in due to certain reasons. That is why you came. You were very anxious to obtain the right to enter the cave. I believe you were preparing for your father's arrival. Wang Lin's voice was very calm and deep as he slowly said everything. Yao Shishue looked at Wang Lin for a very long time. Then she smiled and nodded, you are very smart. That is right, my father will be here very soon. In fact, not only my father, I'm afraid your teacher, the All-Seer, the Da Lu Sword Sect's Ling Tianhu, and various old monsters of planet Tuanyun will all be coming here soon. Wang Lin's eyes closed, leaving only a sliver of space open as he slowly said, is this because of that golden token that appeared during the tide? Yao Shishue's gaze toward Wang Lin revealed a glimmer of shock. It wasn't until now that she truly understood how terrifying Wang Lin was. This person is simply too cunning. Although his questions seem simple, as soon as I answer, I have already fallen into his calculations. Step by step I unknowingly allowed his person to gain control of a lot of information. As a result, if I were to lie, he would immediately be able to detect it due to all the information he has. This person is too terrifying. Yao Shishue didn't know that thanks to Wang Lin's cultivation of restrictions, the deducting happening inside his mind was 10 times, 100 times more complex. His conversation with Yao Shishue really couldn't be considered much. Wanglin wasn't he afraid of Yao Shishue speaking? As long as she spoke, he had ways of extracting information from her. What he was afraid of was Yao Shishue not speaking, like before. Yao Shishue lowered her head. She subconsciously avoided Wang Lin's eyes and said, "That token is known as Qing Lin's celestial token. It is the key that opens the door in the fake cave toward the real cave. One can only enter once they have the key. However, opening the door to the real cave requires all 4 tokens to open all 4 fake caves at the same time. Not a single one can be missing." Wanglin asked, "According to you, the All-Seer and them still believe that 3 tokens are all they need? Only your father, the blood ancestor, knows that 3 tokens isn't enough to open up the door to the real cave. Is that the case?" Yao Shishue pondered a bit and nodded. The blood ancestor sure is cunning. As long as he holds the fake cave, even if he doesn't have a token, he still holds the initiative. As long as he manages it properly, once that 4th token appears, he will naturally have the qualifications to go inside the real cave. Wanglin pondered a bit before his eyes lit up and he asked, "Where would that token appear after being sucked into this place?" Yao Shishue hesitated a bit and said, "The Tidal Abyss. Its entrance is inside the Fire Demon country." Wanglin no longer asked questions. His right hand reached out and Yao Shishue was sealed once more. After putting her back inside the bag of holding, he was the only one left inside the tower. His eyes gave off a demonic glow as he muttered to himself, "It turns out that this demon spirit land contained this kind of secret. My cultivation level is far too low compared to these old masters. However, why was the All-Seer so determined on me coming to this demon spirit land?" Wanglin pondered. The longer he stayed inside the demon spirit land, the stranger everything became. First it was the painting of Huang Long. Then it was the 2 Mo-Feis that looked exactly the same. Finally it was the large man who looked extremely similar to Ling Chuanhu. Wanglin's eyes flickered and he muttered to himself, "The All-Seer pursues the will of the heavens. For him to insist that I come here, he must have his own motives also." When I was on planet Tuanyun, Bai Wei once pointed out that a large majority of the All-Seer's disciples past 10,000 years old have disappeared. I just don't know if those seniors' disappearances have to do with this demon spirit land. Wanglin touched his bag of holding and his eyes became cold. He thought, as long as I'm strong enough, no matter how strange this place is, it can't affect my Dao heart. Wanglin closed his eyes and his origin soul continued to engrave his imprint on the scattered devil. He continued to engrave this imprint deeper into the devil's soul, solidifying his control. In addition, as the soul refining tribe grew, more and more people began to cultivate the soul refining spell. Also, this was an ancient battleground, so it contained a lot of soul fragments. Although most of them were hidden deep underground, as more and more people joined the soul refining tribe, people began to dig large holes. Cultivating in these holes became a unique way to cultivate the soul refining spell. This was only one method of cultivating the soul refining spell. The other method was going to the Fire Demon country to absorb the souls of all the dead demon soldiers. However, only people who had some success in their cultivation were qualified to go. Anyone who wanted to go by themselves had to be personally assessed by Ouyang Hua before being granted permission. The soul refining tribe was growing strong at a very fast pace. This kind of growth couldn't be seen every day. The tribe was like a cocoon that was absorbing nutrients. Once the young butterfly breaks free from the cocoon, it will be able to shock the 9 countries. In the tribe members' minds, the tower at the center was their holy ground. It was something that absolutely couldn't be tainted, as if it was where the gods lived. As for Wang Lin, who hadn't come out in 10 years, he was their ancestor. Their guardian. Every day, aside from strengthening the imprint on the scattered devil, he created countless restrictions that he placed on the restriction flag. In these past 10 years, Wang Lin continued to deduce more and more restrictions, and he slowly closed in on 9,999 sets of restrictions. The 1 billion soul flag was long ago released by Wang Lin, and the 100 million soul fragments covered the sky above the soul refining tribe. Sounds of soul fragments wailing could be heard all day, and this became a unique symbol of the soul refining tribe. Wang Lin also spent a lot of time studying the 5 seals on the god-slaying war chariot. When Wang Lin was only at the mid-stage of soul transformation, he could barely release the first seal. Now that he was at the ascendant stage, he could comfortably activate the first seal. However, this wasn't enough for Wang Lin. He wanted to be able to release the second seal. After the first seal was released, this god-slaying war chariot could threaten peak late-stage soul transformation cultivators. As for the second seal, Wang Lin merely scanned it with his divine sense, and that immediately caused strands of lightning to appear. They chased after his divine sense and actually followed him outside the seal. Wang Lin was already prepared. He activated the celestial spiritual energy inside his body and took several breaths of time to completely erase the lightning. Through the lightning, Wang Lin could judge that once the second seal was removed, the beast would become extremely powerful. Also, it was likely that the second seal was sealing the spirit beast's lightning power. It has to be said that this god-slaying chariot came from the celestial realm. The creator said that they were all very powerful weapons. Although the name god-slaying seems arrogant, after spending hundreds of years with it, even though Wang Lin didn't completely believe in its power, he believed 30% of it. Wang Lin's interest for this second seal increased greatly when he found out that the beast would gain the power of lightning. The wind, rain, thunder, and lightning spell the old man under the black tower used was very powerful. Every time Wang Lin thought about it, his heart would tremble. The most powerful part of that spell was the black lightning. Without it, the power of that spell would be weakened greatly. Wang Lin was confident in opening the second seal. However, after analyzing the lightning, he found out that once he opened the second seal, the beast trap would collapse due to the beast's strength. The beast trap was given to him by an ancient cultivator under 2 Sai as payment for helping them. This item had been very helpful to Wang Lin in these several hundred years, especially when it came to the god-slaying war chariot. It allowed Wang Lin to still use the god-slaying war chariot when his cultivation level wasn't high enough. But now that Wang Lin's cultivation level had increased and more of the seals were opened, this item was no longer able to control the spirit beast. Wang Lin pondered for a bit before he slapped his bag of holding and the beast trap flew out before him. The bracelet had countless ancient symbols and carvings of ancient beasts. There were also a few subtle cracks left behind by the beast's first backlash. Looking at the beast trap, Wang Lin's eyes showed hesitation. Without the help of this beast trap, Wang Lin must use his own strength to completely subdue the spirit beast. He must follow the method left behind by its creator to complete the inheritance, or else this treasure will be useless. Wang Lin revealed a decisive look as he grabbed the beast trap and stood up. He disappeared from within the tower and reappeared 5,000 kilometers from the soul refining tribe. This place was a plain and was completely deserted. Wang Lin threw the bracelet on the ground before forming a seal and pointing at it. The bracelet gave off a black light before turning into the god-slaying war chariot. The ferocious war chariot covered in thorns appeared and gave off a powerful light. At the same time, the spirit beast appeared. Its 1,000-foot-tall body was like a small mountain. Its red eyes fiercely stared at Wang Lin the moment it appeared. It let out an unyielding roar that shook heaven and earth. As it roared, it suddenly charged toward Wang Lin. It was as if a small mountain was crashing toward him, and sounds of space tearing could be heard. Wang Lin's expression was neutral as his right hand casually pushed forward. It was as if a giant hand had descended from the sky. After a thunderous roar, the spirit beast's large body was pressed against the ground. Dust was kicked up and spread out in a ring, and the entire earth shook. The spirit beast raised its head and its eyes were filled with the intent to struggle. It let out a fierce roar as it stared at Wang Lin, and its unyielding aura exploded forth. Wang Lin calmly looked at the spirit beast. Him back then couldn't contend with this spirit beast at all. However, now he could easily suppress the beast to the point where it couldn't break free. His right hand held the beast down from a distance. Wang Lin bit the tip of his tongue, then he began to slowly draw in the sky and a blood symbol slowly condensed. This symbol was left behind by the creator of the god-slaying war chariot. There was a total of 7 symbols, and once all 7 were placed, it would allow the chariot to truly recognize an owner. However, 2 of these 7 symbols were only supposed to be used once the 4th seal was released. After the blood symbol was complete, Wang Lin flicked it. It then turned into a ray of bloodlight and flew directly at the struggling beast on the ground. The blood symbol fell on the spot between the beast's eyebrows. The spirit beast's body suddenly trembled as if it was in a lot of pain. It let out a crazed roar and began to struggle. Wang Lin's eyes flickered and he loosened his right hand. The moment the beast gained its freedom, it immediately stared at Wang Lin. It released a series of roars and the unyielding nature in its eyes became even stronger. Wang Lin coldly looked at the spirit beast and then formed a seal. A black light appeared from the seal his hand made and he shouted, "First seal, open." The black light flew out along with the symbol and landed on the spirit beast. There was sound of crackling and then a powerful aura suddenly emerged from its body. At this instant, the spirit beast stood up. It opened its bloody mouth that seemed like it could devour the world and rushed toward Wang Lin. Wang Lin's body didn't move as he moved his right hand once more and waved it. This created a gust of wind which formed into a palm and smashed toward the beast. There was a loud bang as the beast's large mouth was shattered from the impact. The beast immediately backed up. As it backed up, its body turned into strands of black gas that scattered in all directions and charged at Wang Lin like crazy. Both of Wang Lin's hands began to draw in the empty air and then 2 blood symbols appeared in them. At this moment, almost all of the black light entered Wang Lin's body and rushed toward his origin soul. Wang Lin revealed a sneer and there was a flash of golden light coming out of his eyes. Origin soul, leave! Wang Lin let out a roar and his eyes dimmed. Then his origin soul flew out. The spirit beast was held by the neck by his origin soul. The 2 blood symbols quickly flew over and were grabbed by Wang Lin's origin soul's left hand. Then he pressed both symbols down between the spirit beast's eyebrows. The spirit beast's body trembled and then an even more powerful aura rushed forth. This time it unexpectedly was able to break free from Wang Lin's origin soul. Wang Lin's origin soul returned to his body. His eyes opened and he looked at the beast. At this moment, somewhere countless kilometers away from Wang Lin, at the border between the Fire Demon Country and the Golden Demon Country. This place was a large mountain range. A miasma filled this mountain range all year round, so it was a place neither Demon Country managed. There was a white city deep within the miasma. To be more accurate, it was only a castle that was surrounded by 100-foot tall white, stone walls. The inside of the castle gave off a mysterious feeling. At this moment a black shadow quickly flew within the miasma. While floating in the air, the black shadow kneeled down on one knee and respectfully said, "Greetings, ancestor. I have found the location of Wang Lin, who disappeared from the Sky Demon Country capital 20 years ago." There was silence from the castle for a while before an eerie voice came out. "What is his current cultivation level?" The black shadow hesitated for a bit and said, This subordinate didn't find out because the team sent to capture this person back then was killed, so no news was sent back. However, subordinate knows that this person has been appointed as the Ancient Demon's messenger. Ancient Demon's messenger, haha, someone that this old man has set his eyes on is indeed not ordinary. Dispatch 3 units, bring a celestial guard as well. Capture this person alive. The black shadow quickly acknowledged the order and disappeared. Inside the castle, a small old man muttered, "If this Wang Lin is properly trained, he could become another celestial guard for me. No matter how high his cultivation level is, as long as he hasn't reached the ascendant stage, then the celestial guard can capture him without any problem.